forgot to push the start button on the YouTube at the same time, so let's do this again. Well, you know what? It's too late. What is going on, everybody? I'm Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, coming at you from the Wizard's Tower. And today on Dark Side of the Room, we are going to be talking about some fun stuff. And if you guys are new to the channel, hopefully you're new to the channel, huh? If people have been sharing, huh? Gotta share the channel for old Gil, huh? Yeah, look at that. Like, yeah, just sharing up the channel for old Gil. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. This is the show where we are gamers, nerds, and all of that jazz while we talk about our hobbies and the culture that has, I guess you can say, developed from our culture as nerds, and how our culture as nerds can also affect our standard culture as human beings. All right, yes, we're doing the whole thing as human beings, and that is awesome. So I am Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, and this is the Dark Side of the Room, and we got some stuff to talk about today. Fortunately, I was hit with inspiration before we started the show, so I'm kind of, sort of, weirdly, in a funny kind of way, running a tiny bit of an experiment, while it's in my head and I have the materials at me. So if you guys want to know a little bit more about what we do, or even what I'm doing, you guys can do that in a couple of different ways. You guys can find out, hey, what is he doing? What is he talking about? What? And yes, my pronouns are he, him. Send me an email at backinthedeck@gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK at gmail.com. I also am available on Instagram, also at backinthedeck. And when I say Instagram, I also mean the rest of the social media that for some reason everybody has and nobody likes. Like, I don't know any of us that actually like Twitter, but I know that we like Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that, so you guys can reach me in those places. And if you are still part of Facebook, which I think you should be, if nothing else, to keep a hold of your grandma and your great aunt who doesn't really know that much about the internet, but you know what? Facebook is the internet. Like with some of us, YouTube and Twitch are also the internet. And, so I want to talk to you guys today about a whole bunch of announcements. Now, announcement one, if you haven't subscribed here on Twitch, please do. Please subscribe here on Twitch. I don't want to sound like James Brown and all that stuff, but I will say I ain't too proud to beg. So please, please, subscribe to the channel, guys. Seriously, if you've got an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free. It won't cost you any money, but it helps out Twitch, which means it helps out me, because although they are owned by Amazon and have more money than Avarice and more money than Solomon himself, they're always sending big dudes in ill-fitting suits to my studio going, hey, you're not running commercials, you're not doing all this stuff, which means we're not making the money that we feel that we are entitled to. So I could really use your guys' help. Get subscriptions, and of course share the channel with your friends, okay? That would really, and I'm serious, that really helps me out as a Twitch or a content provider. And that really makes it so that I can keep doing this as my full-time job and all that jazz. So with that being said, also let you guys know that we got a few things happening in the world right now. The first thing we got happening is Decker Day. That's right, Decker Day. We are, let's see, today is the 18th, so 9 days away from Decker Day. All right, and this is a day of fun and games where you guys can see me and a few other people that we work with live. We've got game demonstrations, we've got Q&A, we've got workshops, paint and takes, just so many different things that's going. And here's the fun part about these events, okay? the more people that show up, the more fun that it is. All right. And this is going to be next Saturday, as in a week from Saturday, at Bono's Pizzeria in downtown Long Beach. All right. Like I said, we've got a paint and take, we've got terrain workshops there. I'm working on the swag bags and all that stuff. We've got so far 8 full tables, or so 8 2-foot by 2-foot tables for game demonstrations. Okay, we're going to be giving demonstrations of so many different games at so many different levels and so many finance levels that I'm literally showing that this stuff is available to everyone, regardless of your budget or regardless of where you live, where you come from, how you have access to stuff. All the stuff is out there. We're having a really big time. And I mean, again, when I say 8 different tables, I don't mean 8 tables all showing the same game. We've got One Page Rules, Grimdark Future / Age of Fantasy. We've got Gaslands, HeroClix, Carnivale, Rangers of Shadow Deep, Frostgrave, and many, many more. We also are going to be having comic book people there showing off their wares, possibly having some free samples, and if not, taking pre-orders. And we've got Guildhouse Games showing up, setting up a table, and getting all that stuff going for all of the wackiness. All right, so they're gonna have a table and they're gonna be taking orders and selling stuff. Like if you guys see a game that you like, you can put it on order at Guildhouse Games, and then boom, done, got it. You know what I'm talking about? So we got all that stuff going, and we're gonna have a panel. Okay, we have a panel that's going with, of course, 133 Art, Marquita Lestar, Michael Young from That Nerd Soul, bringing that street geek and nerd soul, and again, the owner of Guildhouse Games, along with myself, having a panel, having a conversation about nerd culture, from comics to games to video games to tabletop games, role-playing games, all that stuff. This is going to be a Day of the Geek, and this is for everybody that's out there, okay? And we're not just talking everybody that you might think, but everybody that's out there. So we're there for everyone out there, regardless of your race, religion, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, different abilities, and all that stuff. It's gonna be a blast. It's an all-day event, and yes, tickets are $50, and people are going, "Oh my God!" But that $50 covers your swag bag, covers your paint and take. It also covers your parking, and it covers the unlimited Italian buffet. That's right, it includes food. All right. So you guys tell me, when was the last time you guys went out for an entire day of gaming or hanging out with friends and didn't spend $50 when it came to parking and glue and food? Of course, you know, I used to play War Machine with some friends of mine, and it was kind of frustrating because when I didn't, when I pulled every single string I could pull to be as frugal as possible, I still couldn't have a gaming day for less than $35. All right, guys. So yeah, this is going to be a real big thing, and we are going to be doing the whole thing. Tickets are $50 per person. Family packs are 2 tickets for $80, and you can bring up to 3 people under 18 with you. All right, up to 3. So seriously, we need to sell about 20 more family packs in order to pay for the event. So this is one of the reasons why I'm pushing this. All right, but just think about that. You, your kid, and a couple of your kids' friends out with you all day. You could do that whole thing. It's Saturday. It's an outdoor event. The location is beautiful. It is a thing. Also, if you aren't in the Southern California area, but you still want to support, well, guess what? We got t-shirts. That's right. We have a whole line of merchandise thanks to the good people over at TeePublic. So pick up a couple of t-shirts, or maybe a notebook or a coffee mug or something like that. That's all the ways that you guys can do the thing. And of course, you can also join our Patreon at patreon.com/BID_P. So there's so many things on that, and I want to give a major thanks to our patrons, like Laura Holton, Shirley Watson, Noel Oheiler, Jennifer Kroll, Glenn Couch, Christopher Chalmers, and Joseph Hines. You guys are the reason for all of this stuff. And I am catching up on our shipping and our packaging and all that stuff. Things went wonky this year in August. I'll explain all of that at a different time. So hey, Fried One, that's right, the High Priest of Hyperbolic Chats. So now that we got all that stuff going, like I said, if you guys can make it down, that would be awesome. I would really think that the appreciations on that level are pretty cool. Let's see, what else do we got? What else do we got on the docket? So yeah, I think that's all the announcements. So yeah, and again, I didn't say what's up to my people in the chat right now. So we got Clever Little Vixen holding it down. Like Gravity, we've got the Freed One, the king of the hyperbolic conversations. Xanathades coming in from the place of beer and dairy. We've also got Lizbeth is Nickable, Nintendo Switch XL, and Violet's TV. So thank you guys for showing up, and let's talk about all that stuff today. Let's seriously get this stuff going. Now, when I set things out today, when I set things out today, guys, it was interesting. I was actually kind of joking around when I put together today's announcements. Okay, because every day that I have a show, I do this thing where I record a video and I write up what the thing's about, and I put it out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all that stuff, just to get people interested in coming in and watching the show. Okay. And today, I spoke a bit on hyperbole. All right. And this is the reason. All right. I see a lot of hyperbolic discussions about a lot of different topics. All right. But the main place that I see hyperbole, and this is real talk, y'all, real talk. The main number one place that I tend to see hyperbole is in advertising, in marketing. Okay. And real talk, that can get a little dangerous, okay? How can it get a little dangerous, you ask? Like, what do you mean? It's just marketing. Nobody expects commercials to be real. Au contraire, mon frère, I will tell you guys, this might sound a bit apocryphal, okay? What I'm about to say might sound a tad bit apocryphal, as in, nah, that didn't really happen, but I can assure you that it did. Okay. Like real talk. There was a game. Well, you know what? I'm gonna pull up the commercial for you guys. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull up the commercial. All right. And we gonna watch this commercial, and it's gonna be fun. And I will probably get flagged by YouTube, and I don't care. Guess who commercial, 1980s? No, 1992. Yeah, there we go. Let's take a look at this thing right here, because this is actually funny. All right, with the nobody expects this. Well, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, but check it out, y'all. Just totally check it out. All right, this is a real big thing. All right. Let's take a look.
It's Guess Who?
The mystery face game.
The fun is trying to guess when you play Guess Who.
Is your person bald? Yes.
A very good question.
Does your person have a beard? Uh-huh.
An excellent clue.
The fun is trying to guess when you play Guess
Do
Who.
you wear glasses? Yep.
Uh-oh.
That means it's
Are we
not
playing
you,
20 questions?
Or you.
Bye-bye.
Or you.
Toodaloo.
I guess you're Tom. You win. Let's play again.
The fun is trying to guess when you play Guess Who.
Game cards do not actually talk.
All right. And that was in 1992. And why was it in 1992? Because before that, back in the 80s, I will tell you, okay, I will seriously tell you, people were livid when they found out that the pictures didn't talk. All right. People were like, what? No, it talks on the commercial. And my kid bugged me and kept me awake for 4 days asking me for this thing. And that's the whole thing. That's it. They asked me for this game. I bought them this game so they would shut up. And imagine my surprise when I found out that this game doesn't have characters that can talk. You know, seriously. People were unhappy. And this is something that a lot of people are like, dude, well, you know, it's just, yeah. But here's the real fact, okay? That kind of hyperbole is all over advertising, all over, and, well, how can I put this? All over geek culture, okay? Hell, all over the internet. I can tell you, I can't look at anything that's about to come out without it being touted as ever or of all time, you know? Most of this, like if you go on YouTube, that's very much the clickbait title because people actually do react to hyperbole. All right? They hyperbole gets them in the door. All right? And this has a weird effect when it comes to our gaming experiences, yo. You see, what happens when things become hyperbolic is you get the people that say learn a game based on their lore. All right. I'm gonna bring up Warhammer 40K as an example, all right? And this is big, all right? But the hyperbole is there. If you've ever read a Warhammer 40K novel or description, you will see so much hyperbole it might make your eyes hurt, okay? Because everything that you see in Warhammer 40K is the most glorious and blah 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 blah, but they use huge hyperbolic terms for dramatic effect. The most ever, the most powerful, you know. I see this all of the time when I look at descriptions and things like that, and it takes me back to my days of comic books, you know? And no, I'm not going to go on a Superman kick when it comes on this one, because that is not where I see the most hyperbole that's set out by companies. You know where I see some of the most hyperbole? It's in the Green Lantern, okay? Now, I love the Green Lantern. When I was a kid, I really wanted a Green Lantern ring. And of course, when I say kid, I mean, you know, when I was in my 30s, I'm like, I want a Green Lantern ring. You know, I want a ring that will create whatever it is that I can imagine, and I want it right now. That's right. I was so caught into hyperbole that I was channeling John Malkovich. All right. And I'm not joking. I was serious. I really wanted a Green Lantern ring. Not that I thought it was real, but I wanted the thing from the TV to be here now. And that wasn't exactly healthy. All right. I'll own it. I'll cop to it. But when we say most powerful ever and terms like that, we set a precedent within our minds. All right. And that precedent is something that, real talk, in the modern day, with things as they stand, boy, we will fight for that ideal. We will fight so hard for that. I see this in a lot of nerd culture. And when I say nerd culture, I'm talking games, comics, anime. I mean, there is so much out there, you know. Now, part of the crap talking of our hobby, okay, part of the inescapable ways of talking crap is always who can beat who in a fight. Everybody does it. We always, we always bring that stuff about. I don't care where you're from, don't care where you come from, I don't care what culture you're from. You will at one point have that argument of whether or not Thor can beat Superman. Hell, I think, God, how many YouTube channels are there that made their bones essentially on the question of Goku or Kal-El? All right, we just do that. We do that. All right, that is one of the things that we do. So when it comes down to that, it really is a matter of us getting caught in the hyperbole that we were taught, or the hyperbole that we learned upon our initial introduction to our hobbies. We've talked about this before. And believe it or not, guys, and I mean this, like for real, like for realsies, this kind of hyperbole tends to affect the ways that we approach our games, and and I do mean this, most of our interactive experiences. Okay, you might not think it does, but let me show you a couple of things. I know someone who will not ever watch superhero movies because Superman is the most powerful hero that there is. No one can beat them. Therefore, what's the point of watching? They believe this deep in their hearts. Now, they're older. Okay, they're older. And when I say older, I mean it's my friend's father, and she is in her 30s. Okay? But yeah, like Superman is the end all be all. Why are we having this conversation? There is no conversation to be had. It is Superman, and shut your face. All right? Because he's strong and all that other stuff. We all have our reasons for why we buy in to the hyperbole that we buy into. Some of my more trollish friends are like, yeah, you know what? Squirrel Girl is the one that can do everything, And in truth, I don't like getting into those conversations, all right? But I have been studying, as you guys know, I've been studying Warhammer 40K. All right, I've been studying it. I've been trying to understand the world and all of that jazz. And one thing that I have noticed is every book that you read in Warhammer 40K, whatever faction, team, or whatever is about, is the most powerful and threatening threat in all of the universe. Oh, you keep getting notifications? Thank you, Fried One. To streamer mode? I don't even know how to do that, but let me double check. Setting this to streamer mode, huh? Oh, there we go. No. User settings. App settings. There we go. Notifications. Enable unread message badge. Enable desktop notifications. Text to speech. So yeah, it really is. Aha, no email notifications. Ah, announcement and update emails. So, I'm not quite sure. Oh, activity settings? Ah, well. All right, well, I'll fix that. Just ignore the notifications for today and I will check that out, okay? Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Yes. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, voice and videos, text and images, notifications. Yeah, I'm definitely double checking. Anyway, yeah, I don't even know how to set this thing into streamer mode, so just bear with me, guys. Again, I'm still, every time I get on a new platform, I have to load all that. OBS sets it to streamer mode automatically. Okay. Like I said, I'll take a look at that. Anyway, back to the show. Now with Warhammer 40K, it's kind of funny. Okay, Freed One, it doesn't look like you're gonna let this go. So, setting streamer mode, which setting? All right, I'm going over to the Discord now, and BidPeace server settings, default notifications, only members, display, unlock with boosting, upload background. Okay, overview, moderation. Okay, where am I at? I'm at overview, roles, stickers, widgets, insight, server boost status, welcome screen, rules screening, custom invite link, widget, integrations. Yeah, streamer mode and settings. So, all right, let me see here. So I'm in server overview. Yeah, I'm like BidPeace server settings, or should I just go to settings? I don't know. Yeah, click the wheel on the bottom left. I've clicked the wheel on the bottom left. User settings, app settings, streamer mode. Enable streamer mode. Thank you. All right, cool. All right, so now that I got this going, where was I? Oh yeah. So as I'm reading more stuff in 40K, we've got the Space Marines, the most honorable and yeah, blah, 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 and the most powerful and blah, blah, blah. And then I get to a Tyranid novel, right? And I get the Tyranids, the most blah, 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 and the most terrifying blah, 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 blah. It's always the most. And I am super duper. Hang on. Super duper amused at that particular thing. Because again, it's it really is, like, how can I put this? I'm aware that advertising has to be eye-catching. And part of being eye-catching is being a bit hyperbolic. Okay, that is just, that kind of goes with the territory, if you will. So that being the case, there we are. That being the case, with the stuff that we're kind of talking about today, I've noticed that those types of things tend to affect the experiences of new people into games. All right. I remember. Ooh, I'm a mess today. When I first bought in to Marvel Crisis Protocol, I played with a friend of mine, and I played with a couple of different friends of mine. One friend believes that all comic books fall to Deadpool and the Hulk. And another one feels that all comic books fall to Superman and Superman and Superman. All right? Now, the Superman fan actually isn't really a comic guy. And when I say that, I mean he doesn't know the difference between Marvel and DC. He doesn't realize that they're two different companies and two different universes. And my friend who's into Deadpool and the Hulk are just into Deadpool and the Hulk. But when it comes to these games, they use the hyperbole from the comic books to determine what is and isn't possible within the different medium that is the comic book game. Okay? And it's a really fascinating turn of events when I really stop and think about stuff. So, how does this apply to a lot of our other hobbies? Well, we all have played a game or three in our time that used hyperbole to advertise. Every single one of us, you know, be it Dungeons and Dragons, the most popular game of all time. No, dude, the most popular game of all time is chess, actually. But again, you got to get the people's attention. So, how do we reconcile that particular dialectic? All right. One of the things I tend to have to do and say with new players is the phrase within the context of this game. Okay. That is a phrase I use a lot. Okay. And I mean a whole lot. Because as we talked about yesterday and the day before, with the different levels of trauma that are involved in games, or the different levels of trauma that are involved in gamers, a lot of the times, the stuff that we fall into, the games that we might like, can easily feel like a reflection of our own identity. And that is a very heavy manifestation. So when I get my gamer friends who love the phrase, "that doesn't make any sense," you know, I have to explain quite often, well, within the context of the game that I'm trying to teach you, it does. Well, why can't I do this? Superman can, or Spider-Man can, or whatever. And I'm like, well, we could get into that debate about, you know, the stuff that is canon and isn't canon. The stuff that comes along with, you know, you know, we can get into the debate of what is and isn't canon. We can get into the debate of which comic character has beaten Superman, what they're recently, all that stuff. All right. Or we can play a fun little game and go pew pew with little miniatures. The choice is yours, okay? And that's something that I'm always trying to sort of make clear to a lot of players, that as much as we like to believe things, as much as hyperbole has a very, very severe, what is the term? Severe and standard-ish effect on our perceptions of things. The hyperbole that we know is not always the hyperbole that should apply to the situations that we're in. This is where I come in with error on the side of awesome. All right? When I'm in a gaming environment, like, say, talking with people about Warhammer 40k, you know, the Tyranids are stupid powerful. The Imperium of Man is stupid powerful. Ironically, the Imperial Guard is stupidly powerful against things that aren't stupidly powerful. You know? And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to get at with you guys today. A lot of the times, our hyperbolic thoughts of stuff will inevitably color the ways that we interact with. Man, I got a serious thing started by saying chess is the most popular game. You know, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. A lot of the times our preconceptions of a property, of a hobby, of just a thing will color our experiences at it. Now, I have a very good friend. It's their birthday today. So happy birthday. I know you ain't watching the show because you're getting ready for your birthday party. So, and I have been teaching them a few miniatures games just to make absolutely sure that I can buff out a few kinks. As I like to say, but I don't mean like kinks. I don't mean like dirty stuff. No, I mean, just so I can buff out a few errors and things in my teaching techniques. All right, this is a very important thing to me, because when I teach people, I want to make sure I'm teaching them A, in a language that they can understand, and B, in a way that doesn't destroy their enthusiasm for what it is I'm teaching. In fact, if I can teach someone how to do something in a way that makes them excited, you know, then I've done a good job. If I can teach a parent to get in to D&D, or a parent to get into role-playing games, or miniatures and crafting, with the same enthusiasm and gusto as their offspring, then I think I'm doing a pretty good job in growing the community, you know? So that is the thing that I'm working on. And this person, you know, looked at the game, kind of interpreted the base mechanics, which was really good, but sees a really important thing, which is most of these things are just like any other game. You've got ways to see what your character can do, and you roll the dice to see if they do the thing that you wanted them to do. And I'm like, yes, that is the essence of all of these games. However, there are little differences and little subtleties, okay? But the hyperbole and oversimplification of yes, it is newer than Go. Chess is newer than Go. I know this because a lot of my friends are chess players and I'm a Go player. But as I was saying, so when I interact with this friend, there is a sense of dramatic oversimplification or hyperbole in their thought process of what these games are. And they haven't learned a single one of these games enough to truly understand the differences between them. Okay. And again, this is a very, very, very fascinating place for me, a very interesting and fascinating place for me to observe. Okay. So you might be asking, all right, Solar, well, everybody does hyperbole, everybody does everybody sees over exaggeration and playing up the coolness of something in order. Hang on. You know, I might be overthinking this. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I got hit with inspiration to recycle a different game, but we'll get to that. So yeah, as I was saying, everybody does all that. What's the big deal? Why is this a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I'm gonna paint you a picture. Y'all ready for a little bit of scenario play? What you got is a friend that you really like spending time with, and a friend that wants to join your D&D group. They want to play D&D with you, all right? And when you allow them to make their own character, the thing that they want to do is recreate their favorite anime character. Let's say that anime character is someone like One Punch Man. You know, what's his name? Sasuma, something like that. Sadama. I'm like Satsuma. No, he's not an orange. So this guy wants to make One Punch Man, and sure enough, you get as close to One Punch Man as you can. And when I say as you can, I mean as you can, with the rules of whatever role-playing game that you and your friends are playing. Let's say it's D&D, just for the sake of argument. And then they find out they're not playing Sadama from the TV show. They're playing Sadama at the beginning of their career when they are first learning their skills. Okay, before they discover that they can destroy anyone in one punch. Now your friend is disappointed. Okay, I've seen this 100 times. If you guys are not new to the channel, you've seen me say many times how, yes, in a role-playing game you can recreate Superman, but you're not playing the Superman from the cartoon. You are playing Clark from Smallville. All right. Yes, before they did 100 push-ups and 100 squats and ran 10 miles a day, and yes, a normal chap. Except they're a little more than normal. I know. Oh man. When I brought some new players into one of my games, they were letting me know that they didn't feel special. They didn't feel like they were any more than human. So I had to take them and their character as it stood through a simulacrum scenario, and I put them in fights with regular old characters, and they were like, "Oh my god, I can kill people with one punch." I'm like, "Yes. Your character can kill an average bartender with one punch. However, and this is big, guys, there are other people out there that can also kill bartenders with one punch. So yeah, your character can be a lot like Superman. However, there are Lexes out there. There are Brainiacs. There are okay, yeah, there are people out there NPCs, enemies, bad guys, whatever you want to call them, that also have done the 100 squats and the running 10 miles a day and all that stuff, you know? And that is the skill that you're playing with, and it's really easy to forget that. And people get caught up in the hyperbole of the entire show is based on the guy trying to find somebody that he can't beat in one punch. And I'm like, yeah, and for the purposes of a game, you're already dealing with that. All right, you're dealing with a very big you're already dealing with the people that they've found. Everyone is a challenge. Give me just a sec, guys. I'll be right back. Yeah, doing a thing real quick. Okay. Sorry guys, I had a tiny bit of a safety issue here. So yeah, that is very much a thing that happens, you know? Exactly, Xanathage. Your character might be able to beat an ordinary person with one punch, but you're in a world of the extraordinary, you know? And a lot of people get so caught up in the hyperbole, the super simplification and over exaggeration of their interpretation of the media, their preferences, what the media has told them over the years. There's just so many different things. All right. And this isn't a bad thing. It's just a thing. Okay. It is just a thing. Now, since we deal with solutions on this channel, how do we deal with it? The first thing that I tend to do, okay, is to put them in scenarios outside of the game, like have an independent gaming session with them and show them how powerful they actually are, okay? And how even characters like Superman, like Sadama, like Goku, they had to train and push their limits. And if you look at most of the fiction that is involved with them, most of the stuff that they're into is based on that, pushing their limits, finding out what more. That auto TKs them. Wow. I want people to keep playing. I want them to have fun. You know, again, it's easy to do. I let all my players know, don't turn this into a competition. I'm the GM. I would win. Only because I have access to things that you don't have access to in play. So yeah, nah. Eventually, but not at first. We still want to get them in. We want them to enjoy themselves. We want to give them a reason to come back. Remember, all of these things that we do, I'm not saying require other people, but are exponentially improved when we're at a table full of people having fun. Okay? You know, and I know this from, again, personal experience. I know what it's like not to feel special at a table. I know when I'm at a table where people have spent the past decade breaking the game or hacking the system and coming up with metas and stuff like that, and I haven't, because I don't have that kind of time or resources or, you know, background, because they've been playing since they were 9, and when I was 9 there was Satanic Panic and all this other stuff, right? We've gone over this, you've all heard it before, yada yada, etc, etc, or as I would say, or as Taz's father would say, blah blah blah, yakety a smackety. So, how do we do this? Well, first off, as we talk about on the show a lot, we try to temper the expectations of the people that are there. Okay. Now, in the old days, when a new player wanted to come and play at the game, somebody else would make their character, hand them to him, and be like, "Nope, you're a hobbit thief. Shut up." Okay. But we live in an age where no one should have to be desperate for any time spent. Okay, we all have something better to do, right? Yeah, I know. I know that you're kidding, fried one. All right, freed one. I will get that right. I'm working to normalize doing it correctly. Okay, so yes, I know you're joking, freed one. And you know I love your sense of humor. Or am I kidding? No, I'm not kidding. I actually do really love your sense of humor. So the first thing we do is we do our best to try and temper the expectations of our players. Now, one of the big things that I do with role-playing games is I have a new player sit in, and when that new player sits in, I have a friend who's not in the game also sit in. Okay? And here's the reason. All right, this may sound weird, but just follow me. When I'm running a game, I'm running a game. Okay? Now, if I have a friend who can't be part of the game all the time, I find out when the next time they will be available to sit in would be. And if they would be willing to, I have them sit in with the new player, and I have the new player sit in and watch. And I have my other friend who knows how to play but just doesn't have time to show up every single game session, field all the questions of the new player. All right? And that is a really big thing. All right? That is a really big thing. This lets the new player know that, one, though I'm called the game master, I am not the game designer. All right? And that there are other people who know how to play, know the rules, and have support. If you guys are interested, try doing that for your GM sometime. When they have a new player come in saying, look, can I just sit in to answer the questions of the new player so that you can keep running the game uninterrupted, and they can just turn to me when they have questions about what just happened, how did they come up with those numbers, and all that jazz. Okay. Now that's really easy these days because of how pervasive watching streamed games has become. And I think that is awesome. Okay. And I'm dead serious. There's no sarcasm in what I'm saying about this at all. At all. I think that is so amazing that we can do that nowadays. We can turn on an episode of Critical Role or Garback Games or XP to Level 3 or Arcane Arcade, same guys from XP to Level 3. And we can quite seriously and quite literally be like, look, they're playing a game and they're into the game and all that stuff. But if you want to know how this is coming about, we can pause it at any time. And you can ask me a question. Just pause the video, ask me a question, and I will answer your question. I will sit down with you with a book. I will answer the questions that you got. We'll go over that, and every time you ask me why, I will take the time to explain why. That is one of the things that I do. Okay? Usually, well, yeah, you are a game designer. You're a lot better than this stuff than I am. I play pre-written adventures with an existing system. I can put the book. Oh, you can point at the book and say, see, it's the book's fault. I definitely get that. And see, the reason that I'm suggesting this, okay, to get past people's hyperbole, get past their trained hyperbole, is very simple. All right. When you aren't playing and they aren't playing, there is no subconscious competition. All right? This helps cut through the shame that people tend to feel for not already knowing. Okay? It is a totally safe environment because you're not playing that game. You got no dogs in that fight. Like none. And they're not playing that game. So they haven't created a character that they have to be, that they're emotionally invested in. You're not running the world, so you can't or they can't accuse you of cheating and all of that jazz. It literally is two people watching a game and one explaining to them at every step of the way why that happened, how that happened. All right. This is one of the ways that I tend to, I'm not going to say indoctrinate, but try and help my friends understand what I'm talking about if they don't already do, if they don't already participate in these things. Now, I've had lots of friends who are gamers over the years, and I've had some friends that were teachers. And what I'm talking about right now is teaching. Okay, and this is why teaching is such an important skill set to cultivate, especially if you're a GM or if you ever plan on having kids, because you're going to be teaching a lot. All right, because there will always be the question of, hang on, how that happened. There's going to be the rules arguments. There's going to be the lawyers. There's going to be the people that want to be lawyers and are suffering the Dunning-Kruger effect. These are things that we cannot get past. All right. And with as many games as I play, I can let you know that not every game is designed well. A lot of games, a lot of my favorite games, to tell you the truth, have very decent concepts. You know, they're very decent conceptually, but not very good in execution, partly because of their low budget games and can't afford the beta testing thing. All right, so if you guys are wondering, I'm making this. I know this doesn't seem like a whole lot, all right? And I'll be painting it and all that other stuff. But what this is a measuring tool for a game that I used to play that isn't in standard scale and doesn't translate to inches very well. You guys might know the game as HeroClix. It's a game that I really miss playing, but I don't really want to spend the hundreds and thousands of dollars in trying to keep up with a game that is on the collectible model. And we'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. So also it comes with maps, and the game is played in a grid, and I'm running an experiment to see if I can translate it to regular terrain instead of gridded terrain so that I can use what I got. Okay. It's something that I'm really looking forward to trying. Hopefully, if I get to see a friend of mine at Decker Day, I will be able to run them through this as a demo, and we can have a good old time with a bunch of stuff we already own. So I'm going to put this to the test today or tomorrow, one of the two. So yeah, but when it comes to hyperbole and expectations, a lot of people's expectations are based on the hyperbole that they've absorbed or that they have on their own. So cutting through, as it were, the hyperbole and cutting through the previously built expectations that are built on hyperbole and you know, that are built on hyperbole and I guess you can say advertising and previously ingested media, is something that we are going to run into as GMs, as players, because we have it too. You know, I remember when HeroClix came out, I was mad because via the game mechanics, Spider-Man could beat Superman every single time. And I'm sorry, but Spider-Man webbing up Superman and that tracking every single turn, that did not feel like it worked. You know, that didn't feel like it was well thought out and well designed. And the fact is, it wasn't. It literally wasn't. At the time, the company, and I'm talking like way back in 2003, the company WizKids got the rights to Marvel and created Marvel HeroClix. And then after it became a relatively successful game, it got the rules for DC. But DC and Marvel are on very different power scalings. Again, hyperbole or oversimplification and different scales. And how can I put this? It didn't track well when you mixed Marvel and DC. When you had Comic World crossovers, did not cross well at all. And in all honesty, and this was something that really got on my personal last nerve, was when they brought in indie comics. Oh man, it got stupid. Okay, but the game in and of itself I always liked, and I always wanted to get into miniatures games and build terrain and things like that. So it was the first one I did. Yeah, they both have busted characters. It's a matter of how many characters are busted, how busted they are, and can the busted characters be translated within the game mechanics to keep the game fun and playable for everyone involved. That is always a challenge. So yeah, when it comes down to doing that, you know, it became a thing. But again, the game tricked me into playing another collectible card game, and I didn't like that. But I got back into it like 10, 15 years later. I really like the stuff, and the internet definitely helps with keeping the game available. But as much as I love grids, I don't have any 3D terrain that has grids. And I have 2 games that use superhero minis. That is HeroClix and the DC Universe game from Night Model Games. So I want to be able to switch out the terrain and, you know, change up what game I'm playing based on who I'm playing with. I got some people who don't want to go any deeper than HeroClix, and I got some people that want to go deeper than HeroClix, and I want to be able to do both. Okay? And I think it is possible. In truth, Clicks can play a lot faster than a lot of other games. So I'm putting together measuring devices so that I can, instead of doing the complicated math and slowing down the game, I'm making measuring devices that are in the exact same scale as the rest of the maps. Okay. Again, I have a lot to do today. Yeah, initiate the apocalypse for a laugh. You know, yeah, I'm a big fan of that. And one of the Constantine models that I have is really cool looking. Okay, it was a HeroClix, so it's even pre-painted. I don't even have to do anything with it. I love the sculpt, I love the paint job, it was done, and I want to play that in other games as well. Okay, along with the Blue Devil and Etrigan and a lot of the Sentinels of Magic and stuff like that. But again, I don't always like playing grimdark or fantasy. Sometimes I like superheroes. So yeah, that's really a major thing I want to do, and I'm always trying to figure out new and interesting ways to pull off these things. So that is one of the things I'm working on, and if it goes well and it's playable and it's fun, then there'll be 9 playable tables at Decker Day. You see what I'm doing here, guys? So yeah, that is just the thing. Just putting all this stuff out there to show how much fun these things can be when we just get out there and do it. So yeah. So again, I'm going to be doing this stuff and taking a look at some stuff from HC Realms, which is kind of cool because they have all of the information of the new stuff. And hey, fun. Isn't that great? So yeah, that is really where I'm at and the stuff that I'm kind of wanting to do. But what do you guys think? When you guys have gone into when you've gone into different games, what are some of the preconceived notions that have come out because of hyperbolic advertising or previous existing miniatures that you guys have gone into? I'd really like to hear that. But looks like we're out of time today. Yeah, today's episode was a little less formal. But we'll be back tomorrow. If I can get the cameras going, we'll be doing another episode of the Hobby Haul. If I can get the cameras going and worked out and all that stuff. Yeah, I've been here for a little while. And so yeah, so hopefully you guys have had fun here today. I know I love talking with you. Yeah, and Daryl, don't think I ain't see you, man. Don't see. Yep. He's out there. Ooh, DOA. Yeah, right? you know, most people aren't adventurers. They would rather stay home and be safe as possible. Your character is willing to take the risk for greater things. Exactly. You know? So yeah, major shout outs to Daryl watching us over on YouTube. Major thanks to you guys here, like Erica Funber, Black and White Now in Color, Freed One, Lisbeth is Nickable, Lana Ray, you're back. Oh God, where have you been? You have been missed. Nintendo Switch, XL, Violet's TV, Xanathades, Clever Little Vixen, holding it down like gravity. Thank all of you guys for being here today. Like I said, when you got tomorrow, if I can get all the cameras working, hopefully, if I can get the cameras working, we'll come in with another hobby haul. I didn't like the way the lights looked last time, so I'm gonna try and make that better for you guys. All right, but with that, I'm gonna say thank you guys for joining me. And if anybody tells you guys that I'm just gonna say this. Nobody has the right to tell you what hobbies you can have as long as you're not hurting anybody. All right, and if they do, because, oh my God, I didn't think people of your race or creed or color or sexual orientation, I didn't know that y'all like that too. You can tell those people to put any of those cards back in the deck, all right? Because you are who you are. It's that simple. All right, guys. So until then, this is Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, saying thank you guys for joining me, and we will see you guys next time. All right, later.